What's up you guys, it's Jackson here. So iRacing has just released a brand new Dallara LMP2 car. We're about to go buy it, take it to the track to test it out. Let's see what this car's like. Alright, so we've just jumped into a practice session at Spa, and let's just jump straight out onto the track and see what this car is like. Alright, so our first thing you notice, feels like you're really sitting off to the left, but this is a really cool cockpit actually. Looking out the front windscreen, got your mirrors. This is a really nice seating position. I don't know if you can hear that, but the new announcements on iRacing, that's an exciting little addition, just to add to the immersion of the whole platform. But just calibrate our brake pedals. Alright, well let's have a drive of this thing. Alright, here we go. Whoa. Wow. First thing I noticed, you can put a lot of brake pressure on without locking out the brakes. Wow, we can really hammer the brake pedal compared to a GT car. Oh. So straight out the gate, the car it's a lot of fun. Really enjoying driving. It's fairly easy to drive in all honesty. And obviously we're just on baseline setup at the moment, so we will probably need to go out there and lower the downforce. Have a look at some settings, and once you're really pushing the limits, the car will become harder, and no doubt I'm not yet extracting anywhere near the most out of the car, but it's certainly quite fun and like I say, fairly easy to drive at the moment actually. It feels natural. One of the big things I've noticed is the braking force you need to pull the car up is much higher than a GT car. I'm not sure if it's just got low friction pads in it. We'll check that in a minute. So, what do we have on our screen here? Just trying to see if we have a delta. Ah, yes we do. So, we got that red number in the top right corner of the wheel is that delta. Lap time underneath it, last lap time below that. Got some pressures and temperatures and speed on the left. Fuel use for the lap. So I do like having a helpful information on the steering wheel. That's nice to just have all that right there. You just quickly look down and get all the info you need. So let's box this lap and we'll have a look at our setup and make some changes. See what we can make this car do. Alright, so let's have a look at our setup here. So based on setup, obviously, here we go. Brake, okay, brake compound, pad compound, medium, so that's probably about what you would run. That was really the most interesting thing that I wanted to look at. So that's yeah, that suggests that we're going to be pushing that brake pedal fairly hard. Yeah, this thing stopped. I guess it is much more like an open wheeler, but you are braking a lot harder than you are in the old HPD. And we're going to get to go out with a few cars here, so let's see what things are like in traffic. Man, you can really smash the brake pedal, it's insane. After this we will try high. Whoa! We're all off. Oh wow. One of my teammates actually said it drives more like a more like a fast GTE car than the old HPD did. There's probably some truth to that. It does. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels natural, and I've been driving a lot of GTE and GT3 recently, so if it feels natural, then maybe that's true. Coming up on the new Corvette C8 GTE car as well here. Just get a bit of a look at this new car. That Delta's turned green. I like that. The green and the red's a bit clearer than the plus and the minus that the old HPD had. So I've had a lot of experience in the HPD, so been really excited for the new updated LMP2 car. And yeah, it is definitely different, but it doesn't feel as crazy fast and as crazy grippy, if that makes sense. It just it just feels natural to drive, honestly. And that's probably a testament to the job iRacing have done at creating a car. The car is quite easy to catch when it's on the slide, which is a good sign. You can really throw it around and gather it up. Which just gives you the confidence to push, knowing that if it does get out of hand or out of shape, you can hold on to it rather than being constantly worried about the back end of the car. Wow.
Oh, that was fun.
Don't ever watch the faster car behind you, just hold your lane and stick to it.
Yeah, that was my fault. I looked up and I went left and then I went right.
Alright, so we managed to extract some decent speed out of it. Let's go side by side up to Eau Rouge, that'll be fun. Plenty of grip. Plenty of grip. You can still hold it fairly well easy flat through Eau Rouge. Wash easy flat. Massive slipstream effect, as you can see. It's going to come back with us here. Around the outside? Do we have that much? Whew. Come on. Oh, we're gonna have some traffic to deal with. Oh, he scalped us. Oh god, Slipstream, can we get a run into the bus stop? Sorry mate, that was good fun. So the Dallara LMP2 car, first of all, it feels really, really natural to drive. As soon as I went out, I felt comfortable driving the car. It feels somewhere between a cross between a GT car and the old HPD. It's definitely a bit different to the HPD was. It's a little bit, it's not quite as stuck to the track, if you will. It feels maybe a little bit heavier, perhaps, but it feels really, really natural. It just feels like a race car should, and I think that's testament to iRacing and the job they've done with physics and with the tyre model. The car really feels like that now. It switches on the tyres pretty quickly. There's not too much cold tyre drama. All in all, I think it's a really good, solid race car. So it sounds, they're pretty good. I don't think they're anything spectacular, but they sound pretty much like the real LMP2 car as far as I can tell. So I think thumbs up on that. Physics, as I said, the car feels really natural. You can really push the car, you can slide the car, which is a big plus, that you can really push push the limits, and you can hold on to slides. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when VRS, Pure Driving School, Craig Setup Shop, once these guys start building setups for the cars, then we'll start to get more of a picture of how the cars actually perform when everything's pushed to the real limits. When we're only testing on baseline, we can only get so much of the picture as to how a car actually is. So that'll be interesting once we come to round 1 of the championship, or the new season, to really see how the car handles when, you know, all the camber's turned on and the aero's trimmed down, what the car actually feels like at that point. But for now, the car's definitely very drivable, feels very natural, and you can really slide the car. Another big point that I mentioned is the brake pedal. Compared to GT cars and the old HPD, you can really push the brake pedal a very long way. You can really push it very hard. It is actually a little bit tricky though, because right at the end of the braking zone, it does lock up a little bit. So just finding that balance will be a little bit tricky, but all in all, I think it's probably an easier car to brake than, say, a GTE car, which takes a lot of finesse on the brake pedal to not lock up the brake. So one interesting thing that we did note there at the end of that session was the effect of the Slipstream, and it seems to be a really strong effect, at least from what we could see there. So you saw I was able to come at that car in front pretty quickly, get a nice draft, slingshot pass, easy, and then he was able to come straight back at us, get back in front, and then, you know, once we got down to Blanchimont, I was a long way back and got a massive toe and was right up into the back of him by the time we got to the bus stop. So you can look at that as a pro or a con, sort of depending on your viewpoint on slipstreaming and whether it has a good effect on racing. But one thing it will translate to when we get into racing is close battles. And so that's good. I think that's going to create good racing throughout the field, but there is the risk that it could cause some carnage, particularly in the early weeks, while drivers just sort of get used to how that all plays out and how these new cars handle, and being in such close proximity to other people will, you know, present issues with contact, obviously. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out over the course of the new season. Talking about the new season, where can you race the LMP2? So there's 2 series that this car is going to be raced in. First of all, in C class, the IMSA Sports Car Championship has the top class ahead of the GTE cars and the GT3 cars. 45-minute races on typically American tracks, but also a handful of other tracks around the world. And then in B class, in the iRacing Le Mans series, as the second class underneath LMP1, but above GTE. This is obviously 60-minute races on more of the Grand Prix style racetracks. And then obviously you'll also be able to race in the Endurance Le Mans series, 6-hour races fortnightly with teammates. So those are your main options to race in the new LMP2. The first special event that this will be raced in is Petit Le Mans on October 3rd and 4th, 10-hour race at Road Atlanta. I think that's going to be a massive day for the LMP2. I think GT cars are as popular as they've ever been, so that class will still be full, but adding LMP2 in the mix now should create much more even grids, which is going to be really exciting for special events, endurance racing, and just sprint racing in IMSA. And in iRacing Le Mans series, I think it should make a much more balanced field in terms of having all the classes out there on track at the same time. So at the end of all that, what do I rate the car? Probably 8.5 out of 10. I don't think it's anything absolutely spectacular. It's not crazy fun and out of control, but to me it feels pretty much like an LMP2 car should. It's sort of got that little bit of a GT3 feel to it. Sort of, you can push quite hard and it's forgiving, but at the absolute limit it will be hard to drive for sure. But certainly it's enjoyable, it feels natural, and after that little test run I'm absolutely intending to go racing it in the upcoming iRacing season, still deciding between IMSA or ILMS, but definitely intending to race LMP2 and really focus on that in the upcoming season. I do plan to be uploading full races and track guides for LMP2 in the upcoming season, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to make sure you don't miss any of that. If you did find this video helpful, hit that like button to help out with the YouTube algorithm. Otherwise, that's it from me today. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, whatever that looks like for you. And until next time, bye for now.